Hey peeps, welcome back to the Best Start Guide. It is day 75 and we're just coming off a CVC. We won again, so we got two more of these Bloodshield rings, which was perfect because I got something I was actually looking for. First, I want to shout out to my clan. Way to go, guys. We pulled it together. It's always good to see everybody doing their part. We're maybe missing a few people at the bottom here. This is something that's actually very hard to deal with as a leader. I never really, I'm never keen on booting anybody, but I'll keep an eye on the login numbers, and I guess when you get the numbers into the red, you have to start admitting that maybe some of them aren't coming back. So I may have to clean that up, but that is a problem for another time. For now, I do have some things that I wanted to talk about on the account. If I just pull up my notes here, the first thing I've got is CVC. Just talked about that. But yes, what I got was this nice little ring for Zino. So I put it on her, and now she doesn't have to worry about the Scarab anymore. And I was able to beat it. So I'm going to get into, I'm going to do that first. Let's move this stuff along. But if I bring up my notes quickly, what I want to do is I want to talk about the missions. Actually, let's do that first because that'll be pretty quick. We'll talk about the missions. Then we're going to do a couple of Doom Tower bosses. Now that we can finally do them, I've got a team that actually kills the Scarab, and I'm going to see if my team still manages to kill Griffin. I haven't actually tried that, but it should be fine because we killed the Griffin in the last rotation. Then I'm going to pull some souls, and then I'm just going to end on a question of who to 6-star next, because I do actually have enough to 6-star somebody. I got enough food here. I just don't know because it takes so long to make the food, and I used a bit of food to make some of the 5-stars. But anyway, in the artifacts challenges, we are now at, I can collect these. Oh, that'll put us over. It's fine. I want to see what's next. So we got some more epic books. Beat the campaign on hard. Well, if we're going to go over, we'll go straight over. I'm just going to queue up a big bunch of missions at the end. Fully equip a champion with accessories. So this is part 9. What's the hardest thing on part 9? Equip 4 champions with 3 5-star or 6-star artifact sets of level 12 or higher. I probably already had this lined up. This is why I probably should have come here sooner. Because a lot of the 2-piece sets, they're just not the best. I mean, if you look at them, they're things like, I mean, the accuracy sets are pretty good, and the perception sets are even better. But you have a lot of them like the life set, which is just an extra little bit of health, the offense, the defense. These sets kind of suck. The speed sets are good. So maybe I'll just have a bunch of champions in speed gear. Oh, and you know what? I do have a new fastest speed. Diabolist now is up to 273 speed. I'm still hoping to get an ascension on boots so that I can get an extra 12 there. That'd be cool. But let's go back to the challenges. And I said missions. I meant challenges. What's the next mission? Upgrade of 5. Yeah, upgrade another 60. So that'll happen when it happens. Upgrade 3 affinity bonuses to level 5. That's probably going to take a while too. But that's kind of the final thing on that sheet. So, and that's up here, Great Hall. Did what I could during CVC. The next stat's probably going to be attack. Here's what I'm thinking at this point. Basically, because most of my DPS champions are magic at this point, and that's probably the case for a lot of people. When they tend to release new, really busted free champions, they're usually magic. They released, when they released Ninja, for instance, Ninja was magic. And Rhonda was magic. Zino we had to work for, but she's also magic, and we're using her a lot. Rathalos Blademaster might be one of the few exceptions, because I think he's Force. Yeah, there he is. He's Force. Ultimate Death Knight was Force. I don't know. I don't need to go through the whole, list of them. Sun Wukong is Spirit, come to think of it. So that balances things somewhat. But so the challenges are now up to date. This is sheet 6 of 7, so I'll try to get this as soon as possible. It's just a question of doing lots and lots of arena, and I do have to admit, I have been maybe a little bit lax on doing that. I got Foley recently, so on the question of what to 6-star next, I'd really like to get to Foley. I think he'd make our arena team that much better. He'd be a dedicated nuker. Instead of using Kale, I'd be using Foley. I could also use 2 nukers and maybe run Sun Wukong with Foley. I think that'd be really overpowered. And then probably still speed lead with Diabolist and maybe round the whole thing out with Gorgorab. I'd probably just drop War Maiden. Or I'd keep War Maiden and have her lead into Foley. But Sun Wukong does a lot of nuking work as well. I want to at least do my 5 fights per day, so I'm just going to quickly hammer these out. If you'll bear with me, there are a lot of easy ones here. I put kind of a gimp defense so that we drop a rank so we could get through these faster. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad idea anymore. It's a good idea, I think, if you stay on top of the fights and you make sure to use absolutely all of your tokens. I haven't been doing that. So the rank has been sliding. But let's go to the Doom Tower. So here's what I've done. We'll go to Scarab first. This is the team I've been using to defeat Scarab, and the reason it works, the champions are actually largely irrelevant. I just decided I had the right rings for these 5. I had 1 Barbarian ring, I had 1 Dark Elf ring, I had 1 for Shadowkin, 1 for Ogres, and 1 for Lizardmen. I really didn't have a lot in the way of Lizardmen, so I decided, you know what? Mr. Burrito, he's doing well with Saurus. I'm going to go with Saurus. And Galcut is kind of like a rare ogre version of Saurus. So they've each got a ring. They'll just highlight one of them. Bloodshield. It's called Bloodshield. These are the only 5 Bloodshield rings I have, so that's why this basically has to be the list of 5. So if you have only 4 Bloodshield rings, you might consider making a team of 4 and then a champion that maybe just doesn't attack, or a champion that maybe attacks and puts up a shield. I simply don't have anybody like that, but Duchess, for example, her only attack places a shield on herself, so she doesn't need a Bloodshield ring to function against Scarab King, but basically everybody else here does. So it's fortunate that Kale and Zino Gray both have one, because they are 2 of my best champions. They're doing a lot of DPS in Clan Boss. I still have not 1-keyed Brutal, but I'm very close. I think basically if I make another DPS champion for Clan Boss, I'll be able to hit the 21 million quota, and we'll be able to move on to Nightmare. And that way we'll get more shards, we'll get more books. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. So here's the fight against Scarab King. I put Galcut in Destroy set. Galcut actually has some Destroy built into his kit as well. So this is another thing you want to look for in your champions when you're fighting Scarab King, is you want to look for enemy max HP damage. So he has one move that does it naturally. I then gave him the set so that all of his moves do a little bit of it also, and when his enemy max HP move comes in, he does a bigger chunk out of it. You can see it's not moving the bar terribly quickly. Ideally, if I can get lucky and get a Bloodshield ring for Armiger, then I'd put Armiger in Destroy, and he'd be the main DPS for the Scarab King, because he takes big chunks out of him. Maybe I'll do a video about Scarab King on my main account, and I'll show what Armiger can do if you give him the Destroy set. Also, if we happen to get lucky and pull a Cold Heart at any point, Cold Heart would also do big chunks, because she does enemy max HP based damage. And in a Destroy set, that translates to a big enemy max HP Destroy based thing. Anyway, this fight may take a while. Actually, we've only been here 2 minutes, and they're making pretty good time. Because the poisons do the same damage regardless. He takes a lot of reduced damage because of his passives. Decreases damage according to how much max shield he's got. But all the other things like the brimstone and the poisons, that just does the damage anyway. So if you can bring brimstone, if you can bring poisons, you can get through the Scarab King a lot faster. On my main account, I actually just poison the guy. I don't even bother damaging his max HP anymore. It seems to be faster to just drench him in poisons and then activate them. So we got through Scarab King finally. It's kind of sad because we've only got about 6 days left. I think I said my goal was to be able to beat Bommel 50, and I think maybe we'll make it, but we're about to wrap around into the next rotation. But then in the next rotation, we'll see how far we can go. So I have the Griffin team that I had from the last rotation. Let's see if it still works. I think it's Spirit in rotation 2, and it switches to Magic. Magic should still not be a terribly big problem for this team. Although I'm looking at Shield Guard here. Maybe he needs to be updated to somebody that's going to provide a little more support, but I don't know. Because I want to see the waves as well. The waves might actually not be magic. This wave is magic, though. Okay, so it is mostly magic. Although Shield Guard is actually taking a decent chunk out of them. But yeah, he wasn't really a big part of getting through that wave. But yeah, it looks like this team's going to be absolutely fine even against Magic. Although I'd probably switch him out. I don't know, maybe bring in Foley. I'm going to build Foley for the arena, but if he's 6-starred and he does a ton of damage, he's just going to be good everywhere. So that might be the answer to the question that I'm going to end this video on is, who should I 6-star next? I keep thinking about Foley. He's the one that I want, you know? But he's not necessarily the one that I should build. So I'm looking at... hang on. I'm just going to check my notes again. I want to make sure I'm on track. Oh yeah, I said I'd pull some souls. So let's pull some souls. That'll also determine maybe who I want to build. But if we look at the wish list, I have put in these 3. These are the 3 I think I want to go for souls for. We do already have the 1-star blessing for Zino. So I could even try to look out for a better blessing for Countess Lix. I just don't know if I'm going to build Countess Lix anytime soon. She's a decent champion, though. I honestly would be happy with building any of these champions, especially if I got a really good soul for somebody. I'd love to get a better soul for Zino, though. Because she's only at 1-star right now, and even at 1-star, that Brimstone is nasty. Does a ton of damage. These are the epics I'm looking at. I would love to build Dark Elhain at some point. She's free anyway, so I think she's kind of a good example of who to build in a best start, because you can build her as your go-to nuker. She's a little bit better than, say, Elhain or Kale or any of the starters, but she's also the perfect meta counter to Tormund. There aren't a lot of great counters to Tormund, especially in the early game, and she is kind of amazing at that. If you guys want to see a Dark Elhain in a team, I actually have her built out on the main account. I 6-starred her. I don't know if she has any blessings on her, but back in the day, I was using her to counter Tormund's, and she counters Tormund hard. And there are other champions that do what Tormund does as well. And now you have Tatara Rhymehide. Now you have the, the Christmas Ogre that just came out. And of course, in the rares, I would love a blessing for Frozen Banshee. So I could build her out for Clan Boss. She'd probably be enough damage for the Clan Boss as well. We could build her out, or we could build Rorik Wormbane. We might even be able to get enough damage out of Foley. Anyway, so RNGesus, please give us something good. I've only got 5 of these to pull, and I'm going to pull them right now. I think, let's see, Awakening. Ooh, I actually have this that I could give the Gnarlhorn that I pulled. So I'll just go ahead and do that. That is about it. This is actually in the notes, come to think of it. I recently got the second star for the Kale Blessing. It randomly popped out. I wasn't filming, but it randomly popped out of the little slot machine here. It's not at the Soul Merchants that I bought it, which is where I kept looking for it. It just never showed up here. I have never seen a Kale Soul here. It just magically popped out when I summoned a Soul Stone. So it's too bad I wasn't recording. But anyway, RNGesus, please give us just something. At least champions we even have. So that's a 4-star Dune Strider. Whoop-de-doo, don't have a Doom Strider. Don't know if I ever want to build one. We're getting an epic. It's Demitha. Wow. If we happen to pull a Demitha, I mean, this would be cool because Demitha will give us the unkillable that we want. Actually, we might still not have enough for an unkillable clan boss team, even with Demitha, because you still need a little bit of turn meter manipulation, and we'd either need a Deacon or a Seeker, which we don't have right now. Spy Master. I do have a Spy Master, so that's something. And he does seem like a decent unit. Honor Guard, I don't even know who that is. And the Immortal Soulstone. So this should be a good one for a champion I bet we're not going to have. It's an epic, and it's Excruciator. 4 stars for another epic that we do not have. That is the name of the game. That's how the slot machine works, guys. It's pretty disappointing. Plarium, I don't know. Make this thing better somehow. I'm sure there's a way that you guys could do that. Anyway, last thing on the list is the 6-star. So this is the question I am going to ask you guys. I'm sure you have an opinion. I would love to hear your opinions on this. Who should I 6-star next? I am looking particularly at Foley. Would really like a Foley. These guys, I actually stashed these guys away just because I was summoning so much food that they were in the way. So I put a bunch of them just kind of in the vault. Yeah, that's that explanation that you guys didn't ask for. Anyway, so who are my favorite candidates? Foley, Shield Guard would probably also be good. Rorik Wormbane, he's a candidate. Any of the revivers, including Gorgrab, even though he's only a 4-star right now, I would definitely want to level him up at some point. You saw I'm using him in the arena. He's my arena lead. Might as well build him. We also have Jamarsa. We also have Tagore. We have Galcut. Here's what I like about Galcut. He attacks all enemies on his A1, so he's kind of an unsung hero of various rares. Do I want to build him first? I don't know. We also have, in fact, there are lots of great champions that we pulled. We pulled a Soulbond Boyer recently. Soulbond Boyer would be another good one. I don't know. I mean, like I could draw up the whole list and try to increase. Is there a way to get everybody in here? Here we go. So this is a giant list of what we've got. Kind of a giant laundry list of all the champions. Who to 6-star next? I think what my heart wants is Foley. So you guys can feel free to tell me to go stuff it and build what you want, or you can tell me to follow my heart and I can build him. I'm also thinking Rorik Wormbane might be the answer to doing more clan boss damage. There's Frozen Banshee, who's kind of buried deeply here somewhere because I think she's still a 3-star. Oh, and I recently got an Ironclad. He's a fun champion as well. And come to think of it, Gnarlhorn is another good rare. Well worth building. So these are the champions that I'm looking at. Anything jumps out at you, please say so. I'd love to hear from you guys. Anyway, as always, thanks for stopping by. See you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves.